Well, hello guys, and welcome back. This is video number 2 in our series of 30-day challenges. If you haven't seen the first video, go on back. In it, I explain that this year I decided to ditch my New Year's resolutions and instead reach my goals through setting a new habit every month. So February, I set my very first habit, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so first off, let's just talk about habits and the 4 rules that I set up for myself when deciding to pursue this year. Okay, so the very first rule was that it had to be simple and measurable. It had to be something that I knew that I could do. I just wasn't doing it yet. And something that I could check off at the end of the day. My second rule was that I was going to choose just one habit per month and that I had to stick with it the entire month. So if I stumbled, if I missed a day, that did not give me permission to stop for the entire month. My third rule was that I would allow myself to pick up other habits throughout the month, but I wouldn't keep focus on my initial habit. So if something had to go, it was the secondary habit that I had picked up throughout the month. And then last, the fourth rule was setting aside time to plan and then to reflect. So setting aside time during the day to do those 2 things in 2 different times of the day. Okay, so one of my big goals this year is to lose 20 pounds. Now, I have been trying to lose the weight for quite some time. I have 4 children. My last 2 are twins, and they are 10 years old. So it has been quite a while since I have been trying to get some weight off. So to hit this goal, I decided to start Atkins this year. So that is my bigger goal, to lose the weight and to do it through Atkins. So the habit that I chose for February was tracking all of my food, the good, the bad, and the ugly that went into my mouth this month. Now, to go through my 4 rules within this habit of tracking my food. One, it's simple and measurable. It's very simple to simply write down or track in an app all of the food that you put into your mouth. And it's measurable. At the end of the day, you know if you have done it or not. Number 2, to do it all month long. And yes, especially because it was just 1 month, it was very easy to stick to this month. And I also think it was easier to stick to because not only did I want to do it, I wanted to fulfill the challenge that I set out for myself. So just creating it as a challenge kind of created a secondary layer of motivation. Now 3, allowing other habits to creep in, but if anything needs to get cut, always cut those secondary habits. I did want to start walking and I did want to start tracking my water, and I did do both of those things, but kind of on and off. They did not last the entire month, but the tracking of my food did. And then 4th, plan and reflection. Now I set aside time on Sundays to plan my meals for the week. Now we are a family of 6, and so I head to the grocery store multiple times a week. So I would not purchase everything on Sundays, but I would try to map out what I wanted for at least the first half of the week, hopefully the entire week. But I would probably shop for Monday through Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, and then probably Saturday, I would go out and get the weekend stuff. So my shopping and my planning didn't always mesh, but I did try to set aside time on Sundays to plan out my week. I also set aside time every morning while I'm eating my breakfast to think about what I'm going to eat that day. Many times at night while I was watching TV, I would plan out the next day. But if that didn't happen, then definitely that morning while I'm eating breakfast, I am planning out my entire day so that I'm really just checking things off throughout the day rather than having to think about it. Then at night, I do spend some time on my phone before I go to bed, and that was a perfect time to kind of go through my tracker, go through my progress, and kind of reflect on my actions that day or the past few days and how I could better myself the following day. Now, one thing that really helps me, and I did it with this as well, is joining a Facebook group. That kind of falls into my planning and reflection time because I like to be active in any Facebook groups that I join around learning something new, sharing how I'm doing it, getting advice from other people, celebrating. Facebook groups really are a great place to learn something new. There are groups out there for almost everything, and most of them are really welcoming. Okay, so some of you might be here to learn about my actual progress using Atkins, and so I thought I would share about that as well. Okay, first, why did I choose Atkins as a way to lose my weight, which is my bigger goal? First is it is pretty simple to follow. You simply have to track your net carbs. Now you can track other things if you're interested in it, but net carbs is where it's at. So knowing that I simply had to look at one thing, keep track of it, made things much simpler. Second, it is restrictive at first, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, this is why I chose Atkins over keto, is because built in with Atkins is a plan to add in more carbs as you get closer to goal, and then to find your personal carb number that allows you to maintain your weight loss. So to start off with, I am at 20 net carbs per day, but I know that the closer I get to my goal, and once I hit my goal, I can start adding in more carbs and more types of foods in order to keep me satisfied and to maintain my weight. And lastly, this isn't something that kind of drew me to Atkins, but as I've been learning about it, it's something that kind of kept me motivated, is knowing that there are so many low carb foods out there now. They make, low carb breads, tortillas, ice creams, all of the Atkins specific products, and then, so many other products out there. So that once you're ready to incorporate those things, it can really help keep you satisfied while also keeping you within your carb count. Okay, so how did I do this month? This month, so for 4 weeks of weigh-ins, I've lost 6 pounds. Now, I'm really happy with this number. Most of my weight was lost in that very first week, but it has continued to come off week after week. Okay, so throughout the month, there were events that threw me off of my schedule. I ate out once, I ate in once. We had Super Bowl at home. We went to tour a college with my daughter, and we went to the movies. So for those last 2 events, I actually brought Atkins products with me. When we toured the college, I brought a shake and I brought a Quest bar. And then when we went to the movies, I brought 2 packets of Atkins peanut M&Ms. They were absolutely wonderful. Okay, I'm now going to show you my 4 weekly trackers so that you can see everything that I ate over the month of February, in case you're interested in the detail. Now, I found for my breakfasts, I had 2 favorite breakfasts. Either I was eating 2 eggs and either 3 slices of bacon or 4 slices of turkey bacon, or I was having an Atkins shake with 3 slices of bacon. I like to have something to chew on if I'm having a shake. For lunches and dinners, I tried to keep it simple and stuck with a protein plus a vegetable. Some of my favorites are sausage and bacon with Brussels sprouts, shrimp and broccoli, chicken Caesar salad, cheeseburger with ketchup, of course no bun, chicken wings, and chicken adobo with green beans. Now, for 20 out of the 28 days that I've been following Atkins, I had an Atkins product. So that is Atkins M&Ms, one of my favorites. They have these caramel nut bars that are almost like a Snickers and almost too big to eat the entire thing. I also really enjoyed Quest bars and the Quest cookies. I love the Snickerdoodles, and the chocolate chip cookies are actually my favorite. And I did have some Coke Zeros, definitely more than I normally do. Okay, so going forward into the new month, I am, of course, continuing Atkins as a habit, and I'm going to continue my tracking habit. That's not going to die down, but I really think that this month I have made it a habit and put it in my day to where it's just part of my day now. So tracking will continue into the next month. My new habit for March is going to be movement. Now, March 1st is tomorrow, so I have to make this decision soon. But I haven't decided between walking, doing an arms and abs routine, or doing a Beachbody program. So at some point today, I'm going to have to make that decision because tomorrow is March 1st and I am going to be diving in to March movement. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this month's 30-day challenge, and I hope you like the concept of doing monthly challenges for yourself that help you instill habits that move you towards your bigger goals this year. If you have any questions about monthly habits, tips and tricks for getting a habit going, or my specific habit this month of tracking my food or doing Atkins, let me know below. And we'll see you next month when we're ready to talk about March movement.